good afternoon. I know other folks will keep popping in, but I don't want to take up any more of our time just waiting. But I'm so excited to see so many of you here today. It certainly has been a while. Welcome to the September Collaborative Council meeting. My name is Molly Davis. I'm one of the staff attorneys at the JCMH. Today, we have a presentation on employment initiatives for people with IDD. There will be a few minutes for questions at the end of the presentation. If you can write your questions in the chat box, that'll help us make the most of our time here today. It would just be very helpful to have those up front. After the presentation and our Q&A session, then we will have about 20 minutes for our members to make announcements about their organizations. Justice Jane Bland and Justice Rebecca Huddle of the Supreme Court of Texas were unable to attend the meeting today. They're in oral arguments right now, and they wish to convey their regrets. That's all I had, y'all. So today we're lucky to have two people from HHSC's Community Services and Special Projects Division. Donnie Wilson has worked for HHSC in many capacities over 30 years and is now the director of the Community Services Division. And Carrie Bruns has also worked for HHSC in many roles for 16 years. She's now the deputy director of the Community Services Division. They're here today to tell us about Employment First initiatives. Carrie and Donnie, welcome, and I will turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Molly. Let me go ahead and share my screen and I'll pull up the presentation. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Carrie Bruns, and as Molly said, I'm the Deputy Director of Special Projects here at the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. I'm joined today by the Director of Special Projects, Donnie Wilson, and I want to thank you so much for the invitation to share about the hard work that Special Projects has been doing to promote the Employment First policy in Texas. So a little bit about our group. Special Projects provides support to all areas of HHS community services. We have three sources of projects and assignments: those that are legislatively mandated, those at the request of HHS executive leadership, and we also have the opportunity to develop innovative proposals. We have multiple projects that promote the Employment First policy. What is Employment First? Employment First is the concept that employment in the general workforce should be the first and preferred option for people with disabilities receiving assistance from publicly funded systems. The assumption is that a person with a disability can work. Senate Bill 1226 of the 83rd Texas Legislature established the Employment First Policy and Task Force. We have worked on several aspects of the following employment-focused legislation. For Senate Bill 50 of the 87th Legislature, that bill seeks to increase competitive and integrated employment opportunities for individuals receiving services under certain 1915C Medicaid waiver programs and the STAR Plus Home and Community-Based Services Program. Our team contributed to the development of a memorandum of agreement with the Texas Workforce Commission to facilitate data sharing. Our team is also working on the legislative report required at the end of this year. House Bill 4169 of the 88th Legislature requires HHSC to seek authorization for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services to include pre-vocational services as part of the individualized skills and socialization services delivered under waiver programs. Currently, pre-vocational services is only included in the Community Living Assistance and Support Services, or CLASS waiver. We have three staff that are dedicated to furthering the state's Employment First principles. Our employment recruitment coordinator primarily engages in field work across the state, directly working with employers and presenting to civic organizations to expand awareness and generate additional integrated employment opportunities for persons with disabilities. We have two employment services coordinators that assist with the implementation of the HHSC supported employment initiative. They conduct activities, lead projects and trainings, and serve as subject matter experts in this field. All of their work seeks to improve employment services for individuals with developmental disabilities served by HHSC. Next, I'm going to talk about 3 of our employment pilot programs. The electronic tablets pilot uses electronic tablets and currently available apps to provide individuals with interactive technology that lessens their dependency on assistance or intervention from others. The individuals that participated in this pilot had real-time access to their job coaches without the job coach having to be on site. The overall goal of this project was to fade out the need for a job coach to be physically on site. The community-based apprenticeship pilot provides paid internships for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities or receiving behavioral health services. The pilot provides transferable skills for further employment through a combination of classroom and on-the-job training. In the classroom, apprentices work on soft skills, which includes topics like communication with others, teamwork, and leadership. This program is currently operational at 15 local intellectual and developmental disability authorities across the state of Texas. Several hundred people have completed this program, with some having been offered employment at their host site. Our newest employment project is the Employment Navigators pilot. A common barrier to employment for people with disabilities is a breakdown in communication between program providers, state agencies, families, and other support staff. The purpose of this project is to have employment navigators at the local IDD authorities to serve as an advocate point of contact to facilitate communication and services among individuals, families, HHSC, the Texas Workforce Commission, TEA, and other organizations as necessary to reach employment goals. This program is currently operational at 10 local IDD authorities across the state. Our team has developed a series of guides and toolkits to assist with promoting employment first. The CMS Home and Community-Based Services Settings Rule changed the landscape of how services are provided. As a result, dehabilitation is no longer available as a service in the waivers. The Transition to Competitive Integrated Employment Guide assists providers in transitioning from a heavy focus on dehabilitation and sheltered workshop services to a more community-involved, competitive, and integrated employment as service providers. The Disability Inclusive Community Toolkit assists people and communities to integrate people with disabilities into community life, including those who may not be employed due to physical or cognitive impairment. The focus of this toolkit is to assess how they spend their day, how they would like to spend their day, and community efforts to include them. Being a part of a community means being involved in the day-to-day happenings of that community. We also have the Family Focus Guides. In 2022, HHSC hosted roundtable discussions with focus groups made up of people with disabilities, family members, advocates, guardians, and a collection of other stakeholders to identify barriers to employment for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The Family Focus Guides were developed to address the barriers identified in those discussions. We did end up doing 2 versions of the guide, one for job seekers, people with IDD seeking employment, and family, friends, and advocates of people with IDD seeking employment. All of our guides and toolkits are available on the Texas HHS Employment First webpage. Special Projects offers a variety of employment training opportunities. This year, we conducted an in-person summer Employment First Employment Services Training Series in Longview, Hearst, Lubbock, Weslaco, El Paso, San Antonio, Beaumont, Sugar Land, and Rosenberg. The topics included were an overview of the Texas Employment First policy, employment services and Medicaid waivers, the Family Focus and Disability Inclusive Communities toolkits, development of soft skills and job readiness skills, overview of the apprenticeship program, and building and maintaining strong employer relationships. We also have online modules available on the Texas HHS Employment First webpage. If any of you are interested in attending future trainings that we offer, I would encourage you to sign up for Gov delivery notices and choose Employment First as one of the topics you would like to receive notices about. The State Employment Leadership Network is a membership-based network of state IDD agencies that work towards system improvements to promote paid employment for people with disabilities. The SCLN developed an e-learning initiative titled Supporting a Vision for Employment. Our team has been working on distributing 1,350 e-learn slots to HHS staff, local IDD authority staff, state supported living center staff, and 1915C waiver providers. Our employment services coordinators oversee the distribution and completion of these training slots. I'm going to talk to you next about our collaboration with the Texas Workforce Commission and the Texas Education Agency. HHS, TWC, and TEA have established a steering committee and work group to collaborate on employment first efforts across the state of Texas. Our team worked with the Texas Workforce Solutions Vocational Rehabilitation Services on a sequencing of services that explains how Medicaid waiver services and TWS VRS services work together and in what order. A journey map is in development by TEA, HHS, and TWS VRS to help students, families, and other supports understand the process to establish services with each agency. We are also working on a virtual conference for agency staff that will provide a platform to address the following cross-agency workgroup goals. 1, improve referral systems and processes between partner agencies. 2, establish structured systems for meaningful collaboration and coordination of service delivery for individuals with the most significant disabilities. And 3, establish data exchange systems for ongoing collaboration and reporting. We have several employment-focused videos available on the Texas Health and Human Services Commission YouTube page. These videos show real stories of people with disabilities who are employed and what it means to them. Next, I'm going to share a video with you titled Hiring People with Disabilities. This video tells the stories of 3 gentlemen who obtained competitive integrated employment.
That sounds great. Thank you.
I believe everybody, disabled or not, deserves a chance to make something of themselves. What I'm looking for as an employer is somebody who's motivated to work.
It's really important that people with disabilities are given the chance to work because they are so dedicated and they love their jobs and they love coming to work.
People have a choice of where they're going to spend their money. It could be for price, it could be for location or product, but it's also what the company stands for. So it's really important that businesses hire people that reflect the community.
It is good business to hire people with disabilities because it strengthens and adds diversity to a team.
Clarence is a courtesy clerk here, and he sacks customers' groceries, and then he takes them out to the car.
He just wants to help. He's that giving type person.
I'm a bagger. I sweep the stores and the floors up at Food Town.
He's self-motivated and has a great work ethic. It tends to rub off on other employees as well.
He's worked for our company since 2008. We're very proud and appreciative to have Clarence on our team.
Clarence has exceptional customer service skills. He brings a smile to work every day, and he knows more people by name here than I do.
Cole is a shining example of somebody who loves his job and loves his work.
I like working at Home Depot because I like helping customers.
What's unique about Cole is his zest for wanting to figure out things and offer more and be able to solve problems for both customers and associates.
We have a Home Depot app where you can look up products and locations, and he does not hesitate to assist customers when they come in.
He almost knows the entire store like the back of his hand, so if I have a question, I have no problem going to him and getting the right answer.
There's been a few times that we've been out and I've had Cole with me, and people will come up and they're like, "Is that your son?" They've told me stories of how I was in Home Depot the other day, and he's just such a great worker.
I have good friends at work.
I can't thank Cole enough for being the guy that he is, and the attitude that he brings to this store just makes it enjoyable for everybody.
Customers have a lot going on in their lives and their day, and they come in here to get help for whatever need it may be, and that smile to kind of help them know that we're here to serve and here to take care of them is something that we spend a lot of time training our associates, but with Cole, it's an automatic every time.
He's a great employee, and there's not a lot that I have to do other than just encourage him, fill his tank, and let him know he's doing a great job.
Eric makes a friend out of everybody. Everybody he talks to loves him.
I like everybody.
The first time I met him, he told me, "I work all day and I work hard." And that is true. Eric is one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. He does everything with a smile and a positive attitude.
He's very positive. He comes into work very high energy, and that energy transfers to our guests and to our employees.
That's something that warms my heart to see that Eric has found a second home with his co-workers there at Whataburger.
Whataburger is my family.
There are so many people in place from the state level to the local level to make sure that each one of our individuals is supported.
Employers find out it's an advantage to their business because it makes their customers understand they too are compassionate.
After watching Clarence work, I've gone ahead and hired several other people with disabilities and watched them grow with the company as well.
You're going to get an employee that wants to be there. You're going to get an employee that is going to show up on time. You're going to get an employee that's going to give you 100% every day that they show up, and they're going to make a positive impact on your company.
It's incredibly important for any business to reflect their community and give that individual a chance to show what they can really bring to the table.
It's a great opportunity for everyone. No one misses out.
So a little information about one of the gentlemen in that video, Eric. He worked at Whataburger. He actually lives in a state-supported living center and communicates to work via public transportation. He loves working, and he is actively seeking a second job. So with the right supports, people with disabilities can work. I've mentioned this several times throughout the presentation, but I just want to make you aware of the HHS Employment First webpage. This webpage has resources for people who are looking for job opportunities and employers looking for qualified employees. There are guides, pamphlets, trainings, employment readiness, videos, information letters, and more available. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions about the information in this presentation, please visit the HHS Employment First webpage. There's an email address in there that is monitored by our employment recruitment and employment services coordinators. And so if you have any questions, they would be able to help lead you in the right direction.